credit to them. They just kind of switched everything, and then they had the two bigs in. They really packed it in. You had to make the extra pass, and we've been so good at passing the basketball this last stretch, and we just didn't make the extra pass and the right read. We got just was one of those things. It was, there were some things that were open. We just didn't make that quick pass. We held the ball too much, and then when Barry's so good at getting to the basket, they were there waiting for him, and blocked shots, made it tough on him, and he just never got in rhythm.
How much did Dean's health affect the way he played today?
He hasn't practiced. He hasn't practiced in 3 weeks, so it all caught up to him. And again, credit to them. They double teamed him. They were physical with him. Never let him get in a rhythm. And he'll tell you. He's told Luke, our trainer, I need to practice, but we're just trying to get through this stretch and hope and pray that he gets we'll get a couple 2-3 days off this week, maybe get that thing healthy where next week maybe we can practice them after TCU, and we'll just have to see. But it's better to have them in games than not in games, so that's the chance. But again, they did a good job. They just never, they kept coming at them, and we kind of stood. I not sure why, but we stood a lot and did not move the ball and did not move bodies.
Larry and Dean have been so consistent for you for a number of years now. Did you see at any point in this game that it was going to be a long day for those two?
Well, you hope they're going to make plays, and they've been here before. And Dean finally got one down. At halftime, I just said, you got to shoot it. It's better you shooting it than somebody else, and especially when you're open. And he finally got one down. You think maybe he's going to get going. Barry, he's come back after tough days, but it was not their day. We still hold them to 64, 38%. They're the best field goal percentage team in the league. You'd think you do a great job on Lawson, but then you look at the stats. He's 18-14, but he had to shoot 21 shots to get there. So, I said it last time. The other guys were going to be the key in the game. And I thought they were again. Lightfoot had a great first half. Charlie Moore at our place. Second half, Mike McGurl, Cartier, Jara, Levi Stocker did some really good things that made a difference. And today, you still got, and even Grimes, who was, kind of struggled for them. He gets 12. Lightfoot, 9. Garrett banks in a 3. He's got 6. Those are, in a low-scoring game like those are big points.
In terms of Dean, do you think, was it more about, like you said, the lack of practice? Was it him finding it tough to get a rhythm with the fouls, or was it what KU?
Well, and that's the other thing he got. I think the second foul was a frustration foul. He just kind of, again, he hasn't practiced. Practice is a big thing. My dad told me many years ago, you play how you practice, and he can't practice, so, and that, it's no excuse. It's just a fact of life. And again, I'd rather have him hobbling and not in rhythm than, not have him. So just, again, hope and pray. Even Cam hasn't practiced 1 day, 2 days in the last 3 weeks. So it is what it is. A lot of people have injuries now, sicknesses. You just got to deal with it.
I know the game just ended, but what was the message to the team after this one?
One, it's done and over with. We got to worry about Baylor. I said it to you guys on Saturday. The toughest game of the stretch was going to be Baylor because it didn't matter if we won or lost tonight. And we had, they're very physical. They're very hungry. We got to come ready to play Saturday, and to hang together and be coachable. That's the biggest thing. We're good and we're in first place because we got a great group. They've been very, very coachable. They listen. They want to do what we say. We got great leadership, and that's got to be the driving force down the stretch.
Bruce, can you expand on that a little bit? You just said that Baylor is the toughest game of the stretch. Did you think that before tonight? Or
yeah, I said it to the press conference on Saturday. Just because of no matter what, tonight is so big. And no matter what happened, win or lose, you got to get ready for Baylor. And I just thought it was going to be, it's what do you call them, trap games? You guys use different words, I don't know. But I just thought, and Baylor, the way they play and how hungry they are and physical, we got to come ready to play. And I knew it was going to be tough. And I didn't tell the players that, but I told you guys that. And I told our staff that. I said it to our staff probably a week ago. That I'm just, and again, I'm always worried. I was worried about Oklahoma State. and I cussed them out at shoot around, and they responded. I guess I didn't have the right message tonight.
So you mean, just to be clear, you mean emotionally?
Yeah, emotionally, yes. Yeah, emotionally, yes. Yep.
Bruce, it's still a first-place team
Yep.
you got here. Do you want your guys thinking that way?
Yeah, we are a first-place team. We had 3-game season, 8 days. What are we about? We about leadership, toughness, discipline. If we're about those things, we'll be fine.
Hey, Barry, just offensively, what kind of limited you guys in the backcourt especially?
Man, I think just the switching kind of kept us stagnant. We didn't make the right reads off the ball screens coming off. The throwback was the play all night. And I know myself, I don't know why I kept looking down for the throw down to the big. And so the throwback was a play all night, but I think just the switching and then just trying to go one-on-one and not having any success, and it became contagious. I think that's why we couldn't really get going offensively.
Was it just inviting to try to attack the rim when you get it at a steam going towards it? Did you feel like you guys just could finish over their length at the rim?
Yeah, man, I think that's what it was. I can only speak for myself. I know I was just trying to make a play, and it just wasn't the right play. I should have, I should have just penetrated the kick, penetrated the pass, make the right plays, throw it back like I said earlier. But instead, I was just going in there forcing things that weren't there.
Cam, you guys have been good all year at flipping to the next game and looking forward. How different will that challenge be after this one?
I don't feel like it's different at all. After we watch film on this game, learn from it, we got to get ready for Baylor. That'll be a tough game, so we just got to forget about it and move on.
Barry, how would you describe just the disappointment? I know it's a long season, but I knew that this venue was special to you guys.
Man, super disappointed, man, especially in myself. Just didn't play the right way all night. Didn't make some shots. Didn't guard the right way all night. I had a pretty bad game today, and I'm gonna reflect on it, watch some film, a lot of film on it, and just try to move on to the next game.
Cam, how hard is it to come out and play these games when you're not able to practice at full strength every day?
I don't feel like it's that hard. I prepare for games like this. Of course, when you don't practice, you don't have rhythm. So it's always tough in that sense. But as far as preparing for the game, it's the same as any other game. And I feel like today we just weren't fully prepared.
Bruce, what did you think Mitch Lightfoot's influence was just as far as...
He did first half, at our place, he had 6 and 5, and it was a big difference in why they were leading. And then, him making those plays tonight, 9 points, 6 rebounds. He's very physical. He's played well against us. You got to give him a lot of credit. You look at the rebounds, guys, 42-32, 13 offensive rebounds, 13, or what was it, second chance points, 13 second chance points. So, that's a big difference in the game. And we talked about long rebounds. We talked about guards having rebounds was going to be a key in the game. They were very, very physical, very determined. I thought at the beginning it looked like they had their head hanging between their legs, and he had to call a couple timeouts. And we really should. It was 5-0. It should have been 9 or 11-0. We missed the 3-on-1. We didn't. We missed some plays. That's where we could have really taken advantage of them doubting. And then I think it was Garrett Blankton, the 3, if I'm right. And they kind of got going, and then it was a game. And obviously, Dean and Mack in foul trouble doesn't help us.
Barry, does the nature of this loss, does it make it easier to stomach than last year because of just the nature of not being kind of losing on the final possession, or do you feel maybe worse about this because you weren't as competitive as you wanted to be?
A loss is a loss, man. 1 point, 20 points it's a loss, man, and against a good team, but a team that we should have battled a little bit harder, and it should have been a closer game than what it was. So, it's definitely not gonna be easy to stomach, especially for myself. With the game I had, it's gonna be a tough one, but just gotta watch the film, learn from it, and move on.
I'm sure it was tempting to put Dean or Mac back in the game with 2 fouls late there in the first half. How did you personally just kind of manage that whole situation?
I mean, as long as we kept it within reason, and at halftime you're only down 7. It's 2 possessions. We were down 4 at home, so just as long as that. Obviously, we put Dean in the second half and left him in with 4, and he got a 5th. So, and that's a 5th foul, so running into a guy. The other foul was on the second foul, which got him in trouble. Was a tough one too. He was very frustrated by that. But if it stretched out, you had to put him back in. He got his 4th. Coach just said something. I said, well, it's already 11 or 12. If we take him out, could go, definitely go the other way. So it's, I thought we were still managing it. You got older guards. You got guys that know what's going on. And Cam made a couple big plays right before half, kept us in the game.
Barry, what's the level of determination, just bouncing back and being able to show that you guys are okay after this?
I mean, super high determination. Got a good team coming in, Baylor at home. Just got to be locked in, man. They didn't have some of their players that they're going to have this next game, and so it's going to be a challenge. But, I mean, we definitely determined just to bounce back and get a win under our belt.
Couple more questions.
I just wonder how much the emotion went into this of having a chance to knock KU out. There's been a lot of teams, over their streak that haven't got that chance. You guys had it tonight. How were the last 48 hours trying to manage that?
I mean, we talked about just keeping our emotions in check, and I think throughout the game they kind of went high and then low and then high again. So I think they kind of played a factor into it, and some of the shots that we took and some of the things that went on throughout the game.
Anything else?
Cam, is the team's confidence still as high as ever?
I don't feel like our confidence is low at all. We talked about it in the locker room. At the end of the day, we still in first place, and in order to stay there, we gotta worry about Saturday. The only difference is we sharing it now, and I feel like our confidence is at the point where we don't want to share first place with anybody. So we gotta get back in the gym, learn from this game, and like I said, get ready for Saturday because that's a big game.